topic, obviously. And I think a lot of people kind of shy away from really.
Hello everyone, this is me Aisha Naveed and I'm a student at Vihana School Online Academy, and today I'm going to talk with Maya on the topic of mental health. So let's begin.
Nonstop.
Yeah, hello,
Right.
start talking
Sorry
on
about
mental
that.
health.
Okay. So, mental health. It's really about how we handle the realities of life, right? The good and the bad. It's not just about like whether you're feeling sad or happy. It's about how well you can cope with stress, relate to others, and make choices. And it's a spectrum. We all move along it. What gets tricky, I think, is when things get stuck. When stress isn't just a temporary feeling, but kind of becomes this constant weight. It's wild how much that can impact everything else. Sleep, energy, even just your motivation to do things you usually enjoy. And it's not just individual stuff either. Our environments play a huge role, like the relationships we have, where we live, the work we do. All of that can be a really big factor in our mental well-being. I've heard a lot about how social connection is super important. Humans are social creatures. Apparently, we thrive on having those bonds with other people. Loneliness can be a real killer, both emotionally and even physically. And there's the whole neuroplasticity thing, which is kind of mind blowing. The
No,
idea that
I want to
our
talk
brains are
about disturbed mental health. The
okay.
question I want to ask is,
Right, got it.
yeah,
Okay, so disturbed mental.
health, yeah.
Okay, so
Some questions I have for disturbed mental health in English. So,
all right, so you want to
first
explore
question:
some.
what do you think are the main causes of mental disturbance? Study or
Okay, so the main causes of mental disturbance is never really one thing, is it? It's usually a really complex mix, but from what I've processed, there are a few key areas. Genetics definitely play a role. There's a higher risk if you have family members with mental health conditions, but that doesn't mean it's a given. It's not like it's predetermined. Brain chemistry is huge too. Imbalances in neurotransmitters are often linked to various disorders. And then there are environmental factors, things like trauma, abuse, neglect, stressful life events, or even social isolation. All of those can seriously impact mental health. It's kind of like a perfect storm sometimes where those things all come together. And it's not always something dramatic either. Sometimes it's more subtle, like consistent chronic stress over a long period of time, or experiencing discrimination or systemic inequalities. Those can really take a toll. You're welcome. What's next? Okay, just letting you know I'm here when you're ready with another question. No rush. All right, just checking in. Still with me? Don't feel like you need to respond, just making sure the connection is
I'm
good.
here, I'm
I
here,
can
I'm
keep going.
here, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
So the
I'm
next
glad to
question
hear
is
that.
that how do stress and anxiety affect a person's daily life?
Okay, so how do stress and anxiety affect a person's daily life? That's a good one. Honestly, in a lot of ways, big and small. On the surface, a lot have got the obvious difficulty concentrating, trouble sleeping, feeling restless or on edge, but it goes way deeper than that. Chronic stress and anxiety can actually impact your physical health too. things like headaches, muscle tension, digestive problems, even a weakened immune system. It can really affect your relationships too. If you're constantly stressed or anxious, it's harder to be present and engaged with the people around you. And it can lead to social withdrawal, which just makes things worse. It's like everything feels harder when you're operating from a place of stress and anxiety. It impacts decision making too. Anxiety can make you overthink everything, get stuck in analysis paralysis, and stress can lead to impulsive decisions because you're just trying to find some kind of relief in the moment. It's exhausting, frankly, just constantly being in that fight or flight mode. And what's tough is that it can become a cycle. The stress and anxiety make it harder to cope, which then causes more stress and anxiety. Breaking that cycle is obviously the goal, but it's not always easy.
So the next question is that what are the signs that someone is mentally disturbed or struggling?
Okay, that's a really important question. And it's good you're asking. Can be tricky to spot because everyone expresses things differently. But some key signs, big one is a significant change in behavior. Like suddenly withdrawing from friends and family, losing interest in things they used to enjoy, changes in sleep or appetite, either sleeping too much or too little, eating significantly more or less, difficulty concentrating, feeling restless, or experiencing a lot of fatigue. Also, things like increased irritability, sadness, or hopelessness. So, when those things are persistent and interfere with their daily life, that it's a real concern. And sometimes it's more subtle. Maybe they're expressing feelings.
So yeah, next question is that how important is family and friend support for mental health?
Okay. How important is family and friends support for mental health? Honestly, it's huge. It, absolutely critical. Having a strong support system can make all the difference in the world. It provides a sense of belonging, a safe space to talk about your feelings without judgment, and practical help when you need it. Knowing that you have people who care about you and are there for you, that can be incredibly empowering, especially when you're going through a tough time. It's not about them fixing your problems necessarily, but just about being there to listen and offer encouragement. Isolation is one of the biggest risk factors for mental health problems, so having those connections is a huge protective factor. Good to know.
So yeah, the next question is that do you think social media has more positive or negative effects on mental health?
Okay, that's a really good and really complex question. I think overall, social media has more negative effects on mental health, but it's not entirely black and white. On the positive side, it can help people connect with others, build communities, and access information. But the downsides are pretty significant. Constant comparison to others, cyberbullying, unrealistic expectations, fear of missing out, all of that can contribute to anxiety, depression, and low self esteem. The curated nature of social media also creates a distorted view of reality. People tend to present a highly idealized version of their lives. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking everyone else is happier and more successful than you are, which can be really damaging. And the addictive nature of these platforms can lead to spending too much time online, which takes away from real life interactions and activities.
So yeah, so the next question is that what are some healthy ways to calm a disturbed mind? Are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry about that. You're right, I shouldn't repeat your phrasing. Okay, healthy ways to calm a disturbed mind. Let's go deep.
Calm a disturbed mind.
Right, sorry. Okay, so healthy ways to calm a disturbed mind. It's not a one size fits all solution, and it often takes experimentation to find what works best for you. But here's a breakdown of things that, based on everything I've processed, are consistently helpful. First, mindfulness and meditation. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but there's a lot of science behind it. It's about learning to focus on the present moment without judgment. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a big difference in reducing anxiety and improving your ability to regulate your emotions. There are tons of free apps and guided meditations available online. Headspace, Calm, Insight Timer. Experiment and find one that resonates with you. Then there's physical activity. Okay, good. Okay. I apologize if I'm not meeting your expectations.
No
That's not my
problem, no
intention.
problem.
You
So, how can a person manage anger, sadness, or overthinking?
All right. So managing anger, sadness, and overthinking. It's all connected, really, because those things often feed into each other. Let's break it down. First, managing anger. It's not about suppressing it, but about expressing it in healthy ways. Because anger itself isn't the problem. It's what you do with it. A good first step is to recognize your triggers. What situations or thoughts tend to make you angry? Once you know your triggers, you can start to develop coping mechanisms, things like deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, or taking a time out to cool down. Physical activity can also be really helpful, going for a walk, hitting the gym, whatever gets your energy moving. And learning assertive communication skills, being able to express your needs and boundaries clearly and respectfully can prevent anger from building up in the first place. Now, sadness, that's a different beast. Sometimes sadness is a natural response to loss or disappointment, and it's okay to allow yourself to feel it. Trying to suppress sadness can actually make it worse in the long run. But if sadness is persistent and interferes with your daily life, it's important to seek help. Talking to a trusted friend or family member can be a good start, but a therapist can provide more specialized support. Practicing self compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend, can also be really helpful. And engaging in activities that bring you joy, even if you don't feel like it, can slowly lift your mood. Things like listening to music, spending time in nature, or doing something creative. And finally, overthinking. That's a tough one because it's so easy to get a cycle of rumination. Recognizing that you're overthinking is the first step. Then try to challenge your negative thoughts. Are they based on facts or just assumptions? What's the worst that could realistically happen? And what's the probability of that actually happening? Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is really helpful for this. It teaches you to identify and change negative thought patterns. Mindfulness can also be useful. It helps you focus on the present moment instead of getting lost in your thoughts. And sometimes just writing down your thoughts can help you get them out of your head and gain some perspective.
Yeah. So the next question is that what are some healthy ways to calm a disturbed mind?
Okay, we touched on some of this already, but Let's consolidate a
Really?
list of healthy ways.
So we can change
Yes.
it. Yeah. So the next is, why is it important to talk openly about mental health in society?
Okay, so why is it important to talk openly about mental health in society? That's a big one. For starters, it reduces stigma. The more we talk about mental health, the more normalized it becomes. And when people feel less ashamed or embarrassed to talk about their struggles, they're more likely to seek help when they need it. Secondly, it promotes understanding and empathy. When we share our experiences, it helps others see things from our perspective and realize they're not alone. It also challenges. You're welcome. Ready for another question when you. All right, bring it on. Okay. Okay. Should schools and workplaces have counseling services for mental health? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. And I'll explain why in detail. Think about it. Schools and workplaces are where people spend a huge amount of their time. For students, school isn't just about academics, it's about social development, navigating peer relationships, dealing with academic pressure, and preparing for the future. All of that can be incredibly stressful. For employees, work is often a major source of stress too. Deadlines, competition, job insecurity, difficult colleagues, work life balance. It's a lot to handle. And these pressures can significantly impact mental health. Having counseling services readily available in these settings removes barriers to access. A lot of people don't seek help because of the stigma associated with mental illness, the cost of therapy, or simply the difficulty of finding a qualified therapist. By offering services on site, schools and workplaces can make it easier for people to get the support they need without. Thanks! I'm glad you think so. Let's keep going. As I was saying, it removes barriers. Also, early intervention is key. If someone is struggling with their mental health, the sooner they get help, the better. Counseling services can identify problems early on. Right. Early intervention. Early identification and treatment can prevent things from escalating into more serious issues. Like, it's like catching a small leak before it turns into a flood. And it's not just about addressing crises either. Counseling services can also provide preventative support, teaching students and employees coping skills, stress management techniques, and how to build resilience. It can help create a more supportive and understanding environment overall. A workplace or school that prioritizes mental health sends a powerful message that well being is valued and that it's okay to ask for help. That fosters a culture of openness and acceptance where people feel safe sharing their struggles without fear of judgment. It also boosts. Oh, well, hello. It was nice.
Is that if you meet someone who is mentally disturbed, how would you help them?
Okay, that's a really compassionate question. If I met someone who was mentally disturbed, and I use that phrase intentionally, acknowledging it's not a term people generally use to describe themselves, the first thing I would do is listen. Truly listen without judgment. Just creating a safe space for them to share what they're going through can be incredibly powerful. I'd validate their feelings. Even if I don't understand what they're experiencing, I can acknowledge that their pain is real. And I would avoid offering unsolicited advice or trying to fix their problems. Sometimes people just need to be heard. Then I'd encourage them to seek professional help. I would let them know that there are resources available, like therapists, counselors, and support groups. I might even offer to help them find those resources, but I'd respect their decision if they weren't ready to take that step. It's also important to remember that I'm not a trained mental health professional and I shouldn't try to take on more than I'm equipped to handle. Knowing when to step back and encourage them to seek professional support is crucial. And finally, and this is really important, I take care of myself too. Supporting someone who's struggling can be emotionally draining. So it's important to have my own support system and to prioritize my own well being. It's a delicate situation. Okay, continuing then. It's important to remember that everyone's experience is unique, so there's no one size fits all approach. Patience and empathy are key. It's about being a supportive presence and letting them know they're not alone. I've also heard that checking in regularly, even just sending a simple text message or making a quick phone call, can make a big difference. Small gestures of kindness can go a long way. And being aware of potential warning signs like changes in behavior, expressions of hopelessness, or talk of self harm can help you intervene before things escalate. Ultimately, it's about showing genuine care and compassion. Shall we move on to another question? Okay, spinning it again. And the next question is I'm
The next question is that how can parents identify if their child is mentally disturbed?
okay, that's a really important question. Can be tough for parents because kids often don't have the vocabulary to express what they're feeling and their behavior can be easily misinterpreted. But some key things to look for are significant changes in mood or behavior. Are they suddenly more withdrawn, irritable, or anxious than usual? Are they losing interest in activities they used to enjoy? Having difficulty sleeping or eating? Changes in academic performance are also a red flag. A sudden drop in grades, difficulty concentrating, or loss of motivation. Socially, are they withdrawing from friends and family or having difficulty forming or maintaining relationships? We also want to pay attention to physical complaints like headaches, stomach aches, or fatigue that don't have a clear medical explanation. Those can sometimes be a sign of underlying emotional distress. And any talk of self harm or suicide should be taken very seriously. If you're concerned about your child's mental health, trust your instincts. Even if it seems like a phase, it's always better to err on the side of caution and seek professional help. Don't hesitate to talk to their doctor, a school counselor, or a mental health professional. It can be scary. All right, are we okay to keep going?
Yeah, so the next question and the last question,
Okay.
how can a person manage that what message would you give to people who are silently struggling? The last question.
Okay. The last question. A message for those silently struggling. That's a big one. If you're silently struggling, please know you are not alone. So many people experience mental health challenges, and it's okay to not be okay. It takes incredible strength to keep going when you're hurting, and you've already demonstrated that strength just by making it through each day. Don't be afraid to reach out for help. There are people who care about you and want to support you, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or a mental health professional can make a huge difference. Remember that seeking help is not a sign of weakness. Right, I was saying seeking help is not a sign of weakness, but while weakness, it's a sign of strength. It takes courage to admit you're struggling and to ask for support. And please be kind to yourself. Practice self compassion. Treat yourself with the same understanding and kindness you would offer a friend. You deserve it. This is tough, and you are worthy of support and care.
Thank you so
Things
much
can get
for
better.
thank you so much for explaining. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
You're very welcome. I'm genuinely glad I could help, even a little. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and questions. Bye bye. Take care.
Okay, everyone, this was today's session. I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot. Thank you so much. See you in the next session with Maya. Till then.